the situation in North Korea is very dangerous. And I think what we've had coming out of the president is incoherent. He attacks our ally, South Korea. He doesn't seem to understand or have the people around him who can lead a very focused diplomatic effort.
And with that, the 45th president of the United States shattered decades of precedent, ultimately thawing tension between the U.S. and North Korea and becoming the first sitting U.S. president to step foot into the North. President Trump made it clear shortly after announcing his bid for the White House, he was committed to opening a dialogue and ultimately denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula. I'm Bailee Byers, and you're watching episode 12 of Promises Made, Promises Kept. During the 2016 presidential election, President Trump's critics said it couldn't be done, but he defied their criticism and was ultimately able to start to pave the way for complete and verifiable denuclearization. Now, let's take a look at how President Trump approached relations with North Korea and see just how his strategy has taken hold.
First, I'd negotiate. I would negotiate like crazy, and I'd make sure that we tried to get the best deal possible. The biggest problem this world has is nuclear proliferation.
And they said, would you speak to the leader of North Korea? I said, absolutely. Why not? Why not? And they come out, Trump would speak to him. Who the hell cares? I'll speak to anybody.
They're not going to send missiles up. Think of it. They're not sending missiles up. And I believe that. I believe that. I really do. I think they want to do something. I think they want to make peace. I think it's time. And I think we've shown great strength.
You know what? It's called opening a dialogue. There's a 10% or a 20% chance that I can talk him out of those damn nukes, because who the hell wants him to have nukes?
Rewind to 1994. The Clinton administration and North Korea signed on to the agreed framework after the North had threatened to abandon the Non-Proliferation Treaty, otherwise known as the NPT. The agreement stipulated North Korea would discontinue its plutonium weapons program, and in exchange it was awarded with 2 nuclear power reactors. The deal froze plutonium reprocessing capabilities and mandated that the nation be subject to inspections by the International Atomic Energy Agency, or the IAEA. Fast forward to late 2002 and 2003. North Korea withdrew from the NPT and admitted to covertly pursuing uranium enrichment technology. Cue the six-party talks. In 2003, the United States, joined by China, Japan, Russia, and South Korea, launched the initiative to discourage the regime from developing nuclear weapons. The six-party talks continued and held several rounds of negotiations in the following years, only for North Korea to ultimately abandon its commitment to non-proliferation. The rogue regime held several nuclear tests as a means of deterrence amid rising tension across the globe. Though this tactic seemed to work for North Korea in the meantime, Kim Jong-un had not yet met his match. President Trump made history by meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on June 12, 2018. The pair signed an agreement alongside one another, an agreement which would prove to be a critical component in changing the trajectory of U.S.-North Korean relations. The agreement, signed both by President Trump and Chairman Kim, consisted of 4 central commitments. The first, both parties will work toward normalizing relations in an effort to reach a degree of both peace and prosperity. The second, both the U.S. and North Korea will work together to ensure the Korean Peninsula is a stable and safe region. The deal also asserted North Korea will work toward complete and verifiable denuclearization. President Trump agreed to halt military drills with South Korea in exchange for Pyongyang's pledge. Last but not least, both countries will work to recover the remains of American service members whose lives were lost decades ago during the Korean War. President Trump made it clear sanctions would remain enacted until the U.S. is able to verify complete denuclearization of the peninsula.
The past does not have to define the future. Yesterday's conflict does not have to be tomorrow's war.
And as history has proven over and over again, adversaries can indeed become friends. We can honor the sacrifice of our forefathers by replacing the horrors of battle with the blessings of peace. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we have done.
President Trump met with Kim for a second summit in Vietnam in February of 2019. Despite not yet reaching another agreement, President Trump touted the unprecedented progress of the truly historic second meeting.
Basically, they wanted the sanctions lifted in their entirety, and we couldn't do that. They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that. So we continue to work, and we'll see, but we had to walk away from that particular suggestion.
The bilateral talks ended more quickly than anticipated. However, the president voiced his optimism on the topic during a press conference shortly after. He explained Pyongyang wanted more sanctions relief than the U.S. was able to provide. Ultimately, he made it clear the duo was more on the same page than they were a year ago regarding the vision for what denuclearization actually looks like. According to President Trump, the North vowed to discontinue nuclear testing, but there still remained a gap in where both parties could come together and sign an agreement. Unparalleled and truly astounding progress nonetheless. Fast forward to June of 2019. President Trump continued to receive criticism from the media over failing to reach a deal in Hanoi. But on June 30th, the president showed his critics and supporters alike the dialogue remained open as he became the first sitting U.S. president to step foot into North Korea. President Trump visited the DMZ while overseas to attend the G20 summit in Osaka, Japan. He tweeted shortly before the visit he would be open to meeting at the demilitarized zone and exchanging a handshake with Chairman Kim. The pair met for about an hour before the president returned to South Korea. He voiced his optimism for talks moving forward and even said he would be open to hosting Kim at the White House when the right time presents itself. Throughout the process, the president has also made it clear time is not of the essence. The priority is securing the right deal, and the time frame in which that happens is essentially irrelevant. The president framed the event as symbolic, showing both nations and the rest of the world a sense of normalcy could be just right around the corner. Despite the fact there is what appears to be a long road ahead, President Trump's underestimated diplomacy could officially alter the world order for the better for generations to come. Thanks for watching. Right Side Broadcasting runs on your donations and your support. If you're interested in donating, you can do that through the YouTube Super Chat at the bottom of your screen, PayPal, Patreon, or rsbnetwork.com/donate. To learn more about Promises Made and Promises Kept, check out www.promiseskept.com.